Hey, blessed, beautiful day, Grateful Gap family. Welcome back to the Grateful Gap Sports Huddle. Today's episode definitely going to be crazy. A lot of things have happened in the last 24 hours in the sports world. Super excited to talk about it. I will get into that, but of course, I'm coming at you with the daily verse. Daily verse for the day of September 28th, 2024, derives from the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 11, and it states as follows. But we desire each one of you to show the same industriousness so as to have the full assurance of the hope down to the end. Amen. And again, that's from the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 11. And I'm getting right into the big news out of the NBA. So last night, it was around maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock. I was watching the Miami Virginia Tech game, that last minute play call review. I was watching that, and then I seen something pop up on the bottom of the screen, and it was like alert, NBA, blase, blase, blase. So if you haven't heard already, Karl Anthony Towns is about to be a New York Knick, and Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo are going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Man, I mean, this trade was so bonkers. I mean, it's really, it took me by surprise, and it probably took a lot of other individuals by surprise. But I think that the Timberwolves lost out on this trade. You could have traded Rudy Gobert. You don't trade your basically franchise player for the last 15, not 15 years, but last what 9, 10 years. A guy who complements Anthony Edwards well. I mean, I get it. Julius Randle is a good player. DiVincenzo is a good 3-point shooter. They'll get him some good 3-point help off the bench. But Julius Randle has been injury prone, man. This guy has had injuries after injuries. He just finished last season injured. You know what I'm saying? He just finished last season injured. So why? So of course New York, like, yeah, man, put him on a plate, get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? And people think, and granted, the Timberwolves did get a lot more than just Julius Randle and DiVincenzo. The New York Knicks also got a protected 2025 top 13 first round pick. So that's going to be somebody else that they can, pick up to put alongside Anthony Edwards and those players. But again, man, if I'm Minnesota, I'm giving up Julius Randle. I'm saying, hey, man, not Julius Randle. I'm giving up Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? You don't want, I can give you Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley. You could have gave up a lot of different people with Rudy Gobert from that team, even draft capital. But you supposed to keep Karl Anthony Towns, man, because Rudy Gobert, he's not going to give you offense. He's a rebounder guy, and he barely give you that. He rebounds the ball, even though now he'll have more freedom at rebounding the ball because he's going to be the tallest player on the court for the Timberwolves. But man, I don't think that was a good trade from the Timberwolves side. I think you try to get, you try to gain a lot, but not lose everything. And you didn't lose everything, but you lose a huge piece. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Edwards, he gonna be him. He gonna play ball, but him having Cat was another reassurance. Them days, them nights where Anthony Edwards had 15, 16, Cat had 30, 33. You know what I mean? And Julius Randle is not going to do that consistently. He's not going to demand a double team. He's not going to do any of those type of things. And again, if he stays healthy, yeah, he's a good player, but you have that big if. You know what I mean? Again, let me see how many injuries he's had over his career. And I'm not getting on anybody, but I just look at the longevity and are you going to be able to, be available for the team? That's a bad thing. So March 2023, ankle injury. December 21st, December 2021, health and safety protocols. March 2021, thigh injury. It's just goes on and on and on. February 2020, quad injury. 19, leg injury. 19, ankle injury. Ankle, foot. You know what I mean? Like, it goes on and on and on. He's been hurt since he's been in the league every year, basically. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. He didn't get hurt in 2022, 2023, 2024. Come on, man. Like, he's basically the Kawhi Leonard of the East. You know what I mean? Like, a guy who has great potential, great upside, but can't stay on the court. And Minnesota gave up their second best player, really first best player, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, at this point in time in their career, Karl Anthony Towns has been a more consistent player than Anthony Edwards. And I love Ant, but Ant hasn't had the longevity that Cat has had. You know, what I mean, Cat has been the face of this franchise when he first got drafted, #1 years ago. You know, and he did what he had to do to be able to carry them. But you know, the deal is done from my understanding. And again, I think the Knicks picked up an awesome piece. I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to go in there and be able to bring so much more. He's going to have the effect that Chris Porzingis should have had when they drafted him and they thought he was a unicorn. This is going to be what Cat brings to this team, along with Jalen Brunson, not Kevin Hart, but I say Kevin Hart. What's the guy name up there? Hart. You know, the Josh Hart. That's his name. You know, those guys. They got a lot of good pieces up in New York, and Cat is going back with a familiar coach and under Thibodeau, and Cat had some of his best years under him. So I think the Knicks are definitely looking to compete, you know, in a loaded Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? You got the Knicks, you got the Celtics, the 76ers, you got Miami, you know, you got the Hawks. I'm always put us in the category, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, definitely a big boost for the East and definitely a huge boost for the Knicks in general to get Karl Anthony Towns. So also Charlotte is supposed to be in the mix of this trade in some type of form. They're supposed to be receiving draft compensation to facilitate the deal. So, you know, just again, man, I don't know, but again, just like you know, ESPN been saying, you know, he's old boy been injured for a long time, and that's all I got to say on that. But congratulations to all those players, and good luck to y'all. The season shall tell. You know, we shall see what the Timberwolves were just in the Western Conference Final. We'll see where they are now. You know what I mean? And I think you know, I mean, I don't know. That's above my pay grade and who I follow and that type of stuff. But that's the biggest trade news I have right now before the beginning of the NBA season. Karl Anthony Towns are Nick, Julius Randle, DiVincenzo are Timberwolves. So we shall see how the chips fall. But I think the Timberwolves lost out on this trade for sure. But whatever, we shall see. Moving on to WNBA playoff update. WNBA playoff kicks off tomorrow on the 29th of September. The matchups are as follows. We have kicking off tomorrow at 3 p.m. on ABC. We have the New York Liberty and Las Vegas Aces series. I think this series is going to go to 5 games. Honestly, I see New York taking this series in Game 5. It really depends on how the Aces complement Asia Wilson, and it really depends on how the New York Liberty can slow down Asia Wilson. You know, I think her and Breanna Stewart are going to be battling. Sabrina Ionescu is going to have to play real big in this series. She's going to have to average 22 points in this series for them to have an opportunity to win. And I think I'm excited to see this series. And again, they're going to kick off at 3 p.m. tomorrow on ABC. I'm looking forward to that. Again, I think this series is going to go to Game 5. We have another awesome series out of Minnesota. We have the Minnesota Lynx hosting the Kinetic Sun tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN. I think this is another series that's going to go to 5 games. I see Minnesota winning this series, but it's going to be a great defensive battle series right here. Both teams are coached defensively well, and I believe the series will go to Game 5 also. And I think Minnesota will take this series. I also think that this is going to be the lowest scoring series of the semifinals. Again, both of these teams are very good defensively, and I think they'll probably average about 80, 85 points each. I think the New York Liberty Aces series is going to be pretty high scoring. Two pretty high paced teams, and I think they have a lot, you know, to prove to one another. I think there's been tension in the WNBA since this Olympics this summer, and yeah, you know, a lot of people think they probably deserve different awards that they didn't receive. So we shall see how, you know, the game plays out. But again, this series kicks off tomorrow at 3 p.m. on ABC between the Liberty and the Aces, and then the Lynx and the Sun play at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night on ESPN. So make sure y'all tune in to the Thursday Sports Huddle to get updated information from games 1 through 3, or 1 and 2 actually, because game 3 won't kick off until Friday next week. But games 1 and 2, I will have them recapped on the Thursday Sports Huddle, so make sure y'all tune in. Also, it has been some firings in the WNBA. The Chicago Sky coach, she got released. I still ain't seen Tanisha Wright get released. You know, that's all I'm gonna keep saying. You know, I just don't understand how Atlanta, Sky, fire Weatherspoon with their coach, but I just don't see how Excuse me. I don't see how Atlanta, just the Atlanta organization period, man. Just I can go back to the Hawks and this horrible trade off early from DeJounte Murray to get Ricochet and they're just the way the GMs work in Atlanta. I don't get it. Tanisha's been there 2 seasons, 3 seasons, I believe, with the Dream and hasn't produced anything great yet. Again, you've gotten to the playoffs off losing records. Like that's something to brag about. Get her out of there. Get it revamped. Like do something. Everybody, all these other teams make moves when they not satisfied with how their teams go. But no, Atlanta want to keep chugging along, keep chugging along. Oh, we believe in that person. That person can turn us around. We ain't seen it yet. We ain't seen the turnaround yet. So when is it gonna happen? But that's my opinion on that. And again, I don't want to see nobody lose their job, but I have expectations. And you're a professional WNBA coach. You should be having these women playing at their highest level and they're in the best of their abilities. And she's not showing me that. But so that's on their end. I just wanted to get my piece on that and keep it moving. So NCAA football week 5 is here. We will get into that. Thursday night football recap as we get into the full NFL week 4. NFL week 4 kicks off this weekend, tomorrow, excuse me. But Thursday night football, we had an NFC East divisional game. We had the Dallas Cowboys going up against the New York Giants. The Dallas Cowboys defeated the Giants 20-15. Not the traditional beatdown fashion that the Cowboys give the Giants, but still got the win. Still not feeling too confident about the Cowboys, but that's not my team. I could really care less. But they still have a lot of things to work on. They still gave up a lot of yards on the ground. Let's see how many rushing yards the Giants had. The Giants had they didn't have a lot of yards. They only had 26 rushing yards, so that was pretty good. They didn't. Well, David Singletary did carry the ball 14 times, so that's pretty good. They had a total of 24 carries. They averaged 1.1 yard a game. So that was pretty good. They played the run well, but they were getting sliced up in the throwing game. They allowed 281 passing yards, and no touchdown. It was a lot of field goals from the Giants, and the Dallas Cowboys got it done. So the Dallas Cowboys got it done. They played much better. Again, it's the Giants, so whatever. But again, the Giants lost to the Cowboys 20-15. Then moving on to Sunday, September 29th, we have the games as follows. We have my Philadelphia Eagles flying down into Tampa to face the Buccaneers. Definitely a rematch that we look forward to. We didn't end the way we wanted to in the playoffs last year. The Buccaneers dominated us, and we didn't look like a great team at all. So hopefully, we go in there with a better attitude and a better mindset and a better approach to this game. Jalen Hurts has made a lot of strides, playing against the blitz. So, that was a big downfall for us last year in the playoffs for Jalen. So I think he's going to go in there, with that on his mind, not on his mind, but looking to show that he's gotten much better and really, pick those Buccaneer defenders apart. I got the Eagles winning. I think we scored way more points this week. I think we scored 27. I say about 27-20. That'll probably be the game this weekend. You can't overlook the Buccaneers and their offense. But if our defense come to play like we played last week, play better than last week, the Buccaneers might have 7 points. But we shall see. Then the Jets, they host the Broncos tomorrow at 1 p.m. on CBS. The Packers host the Vikings. That should be a pretty good game. NFC North matchup. We got an NFC South matchup between the Falcons and the Saints in Atlanta tomorrow. I know it's going to be crazy down there in the city. That's always a big matchup. A lot of passionate fan bases in Atlanta and New Orleans. Then we have the Panthers hosting the Bengals. The Bengals, they desperately need to win. They're 0-3. I don't know when the last time I've seen the Bengals be 0-3 in this Joe Burrow era, but not looking too good right now. And they're going up against a team that just won their first game last week against the Raiders, who's a pretty decent team. And the Panthers are looking to continue to build on that at home against Cincinnati. That's going to be a good matchup tomorrow. Also, that game is going to be at 1 p.m. on Fox. Then we have the Texans hosting the Jaguars, another team that needs a big win. And I think if they start 0-4 this year, I think Doug Peterson might be on the way out. And it's sad to say, I love Doug Peterson. He was the only coach that ever won a Super Bowl for the Eagles. But man, to start off 0-3 and then if you lose to go 0-4, that's a bad sight for professional football. So they play the Texans tomorrow at 1 p.m. on CBS. We have the Colts hosting the Steelers tomorrow at 1 p.m. on CBS. That should be a pretty good game. Also, we have the Bears hosting the Rams at 1 p.m. on Fox. We have the Cardinals hosting the Commanders. This should be a pretty good game. The Commanders are looking pretty good right now, looking better than Dallas, if you ask me, honestly. Jaden Daniels is playing lights out. The guy has a great arm, and he's been really having his team rally around him. Dan Quinn is trusting in him and his team, and he's getting those guys ready to play high-level football. So that game's kicking off tomorrow at 4:05 p.m. on Fox. Also at 4:05 p.m. on Fox, we have the 49ers versus the Patriots. Another big game for both of these teams. One of these teams are going to be 1-3, and one of these teams are going to be 2-2. And a horrible slump for the Niners. Missing out on a lot of people, but the 49ers don't surprise me. They always kind of slow. They always kind of start slow in the beginning, and then they kind of find their stride later on in the year and become a much better team. Also, I wanted to send my love and prayer out to, I can't think of his name right now. I know I got to think about it real quick. Oh, man. He was defensive tackle for us. He went there last year. I can't think of his name right now. Excuse my brain fart. I don't know. When it hits my mind, I'll bring it back up. But he had a season-ending injury over there from the 49ers on their front seven for the defensive tackle. So when his name pops up in my mind, I will bring it back up. I can't think of his name right now. Javon Hargrave. Yeah, Javon Hargrave. Javon Hargrave is he suffered a torn right tricep, a partially torn right bicep. So his season has ended. Again, a huge piece to their defensive line. Javon Hargrave was a big piece for our big run in that 2020 year Super Bowl, 2022 year Super Bowl. But he has a season-ending injury. So best of luck and prayers of speedy recovery and health to him, so he can get back on the field and continue to enjoy and love what he does. Dominating offensive lineman. Then at 4:25 p.m. we have another big game between the Raiders and the Browns. Gardner Minshew is hosting Cleveland in Vegas, so this is another pretty big game. The Chargers are hosting the Chiefs. The Chargers are without Justin Herbert, from my understanding, so that's going to be a pretty big game. But another AFC West divisional matchup. It should be a pretty good game. Then we got Sunday Night Football between the Ravens and the Bills. This is going to be a massive game. The Bills are currently leading the AFC North right now. They're currently leading the Bills are leading the AFC East, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are leading the AFC North. But still, it's a big game. AFC opponent. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to dominate these guys. They have a defense to be able to stop Derrick Henry, and they have defenders to be able to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Those type of things. But it just this offense been rolling, man. Josh Allen has been rolling with this offense, and I think it's going to be a big matchup for the Ravens defense to be able to try to stop these guys. So I think the Bills are going to take Sunday Night Football, and that game could be seen at 8:20 p.m. on NBC or Peacock. Then we have a doubleheader for Monday Night Football. We have the Dolphins hosting the Titans at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. The Titans, another 0-3 team to start the year off, desperately need a win. I think if they start 0-4 this year, also the new head coach for that team is going to be on the chopping block also. And then the Dolphins, they without Tua, looking to just kind of keep their season going until they find out what's going on at the quarterback position. And then for the second half of Monday night, kicking off at 8:15 p.m. on ABC. We have a pretty good matchup in the NFC. We have the Detroit Lions hosting the Seattle Seahawks. And I think the Seahawks can probably take this game and start 4-0 for the first time in a long time. But that's the full slate for the NFL in Week 4. Make sure y'all tune in to the Thursday Sports Huddle to get updated information from NFL in Week 4. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we get into the nitty-gritty of the city. NCAA Top 25 Week 5 football kicks off today. Well, it really kicked off yesterday with that thriller in Miami. The Miami and Virginia Tech game was back and forth all night. I mean, all night. It was moments where I thought Virginia Tech was definitely going to upset Miami. And they end up fumbling the bag at the end. They gave up two scores in the fourth quarter to the Miami Hurricane to put them ahead. And then the Virginia Tech, they went down and I actually turned the game off about 3 seconds. It was like 3 seconds, and because I thought Miami had won the game because Miami had like sacked the guy. Or he ain't sacked, but I forgot what happened on that play. And it was 3 seconds left, and I knew that Virginia Tech had to do a Hail Mary. And lo and behold, I came back like 5 minutes later, and I see that they're under review for Virginia Tech catching a Hail Mary pass. So now again, I didn't see it live. I came in looking at the replay. So the ruling on the field was a touchdown. That's what the ruling was before the replay, before they went to, and they gotta review every score. So I'm looking at the replay. Honestly, it did look like an incomplete pass. It looked like the gentleman had possession at first, but then I don't know. Like I said, I don't think he's fully secured the ball. That's how it was looking for me. It was too much going on in the replay from the call on the field to how it. So from the call on the field being called a touchdown and what the replay looked like, it was, I guess, some type of evidence to say that it could be overturned just because of the ball being loose. But then people was talking about how the defender who was out of bounds, he made a play on the ball to knock the ball loose, and all these other type of measures that was kind of put into play that can be used to overturn the rule or whatever. But the ruling ended up being an incomplete pass, and a lot of people were not pleased with that. Again, how you go from calling the pass, calling the play a touchdown, then going into review to overturn it, and they really didn't give an explanation. They just said the call on the field was reversed. It's incomplete pass. They didn't say why or none of these type of things, but from my point, I just think the guy didn't have he didn't secure the ball all the way. Like, I feel like if he would have had, when he fell in that pile and just held the ball for dear life, it would have been, the touchdown would have stood. But that little bobble at the end of the replay, because it was like a 0.5 second between the slow motion when they kept showing the replay over and over and over. But it was still a great game though, man. I mean, hats off to Virginia Tech. They literally made Miami play their best football so far this season to really, get that win. And it shows such resilience from the Miami Hurricanes, how they just kept fighting and didn't give up, and they just kept giving it their all. But I mean, the Virginia Tech defense played well at times. The Virginia Tech offense was phenomenal. Shout out to the Virginia Tech quarterback. That guy, he was blocking. He blocked on a big score later on in that game to give the Virginia Tech a 2-point lead. Unfortunately, it didn't stay, but I think the quarterback from Virginia Tech played really well. I think Cam Ward played well, but I think Virginia Tech quarterback outplayed him. He went for his name is Kieran Drones, number one. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and Cam Ward had 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So still a pretty good game. Cam Ward had more yards. He had 343 yards, and Kieran Drones, he had 188 yards. But Kieran, again, he protected the ball better, and I think he just, the way he fought for his team really showed on that field. So I think that young man has a bright future. Both of those gentlemen, I'm pretty sure they'll meet again. And it was such a great game. So hopefully y'all watched it, and if not, go back and check it out. And again, you can go check out that Hail Mary catch also, and you can say, you can give your opinion on if it was a catch or not. Moving on to the rest of the slate for today, we have number 6 Ole Miss hosting Kentucky later on today at 12 p.m. on ABC. We got number 12 Michigan hosting Minnesota at 12 p.m. on Fox. We have number 23 Kansas State hosting number 20 Oklahoma State at 12 p.m. on ESPN. We have number 22 BYU going up against Baylor today at 12 p.m. on FS1. We have number 13 USC hosting Wisconsin at 3:30 p.m. on CBS. We have a top 16 ranked matchup. We have number 16 Notre Dame hosting number 15 Louisville at 3:30 p.m. today on Peacock. We have number 21 Oklahoma going up against Auburn today at 3:30 p.m. on ABC. We have number 24 Texas A&M hosting Arkansas today at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. We have number 1 Texas hosting Mississippi State at 4:15 p.m. on the SEC Network. We have number 17 Clemson hosting Stanford at 7 p.m. tonight on ESPN. We have number 18 Iowa State going up against Houston tonight at 7 p.m. on FS1. We have number 3 Ohio State going up against Michigan State tonight at 7:30 p.m. on Peacock. We have a top 20 matchup between number 9 Penn State and number 19 Illinois at 7:30 p.m. on NBC. That should be a pretty good game. We got number 14 LSU hosting South Alabama tonight at 7:45 p.m. on the SEC Network. We have, of course, the main game of the night. My Georgia Bulldogs are heading into Tuscaloosa, however you pronounce where the Roll Tide are, because the Roll Tide about to get rolled on by them dogs, baby. But we got the number 2 team in the land, my Georgia Bulldogs, going up against the number 4 team in the land, Alabama Roll Tide, later on tonight at 7:30 p.m. on ABC. You know I'm gonna be locked in, tuned in, Georgia gear on, barking, representing them dogs, baby, from the A to Athens. Go Dogs, baby. So I'm looking for us to win this game tonight for sure. It's one of our biggest tests so far of the year. A powerhouse, a team that has always, kind of had our number, in those moments where it mattered. Big SEC championship game last year, we lost. And again, there was a lot of different factors that went into that game that we lost. Very winnable game. But this game, I think the mindset of the Bulldogs is just really go out there and show everybody who we are. Again, the opportunity that's in front of them is tremendous. And I think they have a great opportunity to continue to build on, what we're looking to do this season and going forward for the Georgia program. So I'm excited for the Dogs, excited for the Alabama. This is always a big time, a big moment when these two powerhouses face in the SEC. And we're going into a hostile environment tonight under the lights. And I'm just ready for the Bulldogs to show up and show out. So go Dogs. Then later on tonight at 10 p.m. on FS1, we have number 25 Boise State hosting Washington State. We have number 10 Utah hosting Arizona tonight at 10:15 p.m. on ESPN. We have number 8 Oregon going up against UCLA tonight at 11 p.m. on Fox. So that is our full top 25 NCAA slate for Week 5. Make sure y'all tune in to the Thursday Sports Huddle to get updated information from NCAA Week 5 top 25. Moving on to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is winding down. The Major League Baseball playoffs will kick off next week on the 1st of October, Tuesday, October 1st. But Monday, we have the Braves and the Mets doubleheader. They will be the only games that play on Monday because of the weather delay. And these two games are very important, especially because the Braves, we defeated the Royals last night and the Mets lost. So this is going to be a big help for us as we look to solidify a wild card spot. So for Friday game, September 27th, we had the Braves defeat the Royals 3-0. We had the Cubs over the Reds 1-0. The Tigers defeated the White Sox 4-1. The Nationals over the Phillies 9-1. The Pirates defeated the Yankees 4-2. The Marlins over the Blue Jays 15-5. The Astros defeated the Guardians 5-2. The Braves defeated the Red Sox 2-1. The Orioles over the Twins 7-2. The Dodgers defeated the Rockies 11-4. The Brewers over the Mets 8-4. The Rangers defeated the Angels 5-2. The Padres over the Diamondbacks 5-3. The Mariners defeated the Athletics 2-0. And the Cardinals over the Giants 6-3. For today's games kicking off at 1 o'clock, we have the Yankees hosting the Pirates. The Tigers hosting the White Sox. The Cubs hosting the Reds. The Marlins going up against the Blue Jays. The Nationals host the Phillies. The Giants host the Cardinals. The Rays going up against the Red Sox. The Guardians host the Astros. The Twins versus the Orioles. The Mets going up against the Brewers. The Rockies hosting the Dodgers. The Diamondbacks hosting the Padres. The Rangers going up against the Angels. The Athletics going up against the Mariners. And we got the Braves hosting the Royals tonight. Same lineup for tomorrow. If the Braves can win one more game of this series and win one more game from the Mets next week, we're going to win both of these series, and we should make the playoffs. We should have a better record than the Mets. But if the Mets win out their series against the Brewers, which I doubt, but if we win one more game against this Royals team, again, we should be able to solidify our spot with one more win over the Mets next on Monday. So hopefully the Braves can just win out going into the playoffs and have a better feeling. Max Fried, he pitched his butt off last night. Good to see him back in the lineup. And we're getting healthy at the right time. Again, we're getting healthy at the right time, and I'm looking to see what we can do and and try to make a run here in this playoffs, get into the playoffs, and then make a run. But as always, grateful for God family. I appreciate y'all for being here with me, tuning in, and staying to the end of the show. Y'all be blessed. Have a great today. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for an Examining the Scriptures episode. I always enjoy those. We'll dive into God's Word and learn about our Heavenly Father Jehovah and His Son Jesus Christ, and how they're so amazing and how they give us the strength to be able to carry on and fight our battles and just continue to lead our way in our life. So always, like I said, make sure we consumed in the Word. Get in your Bible, learn, listen, and ask for the Holy Spirit to be a part of you so that you can understand His Word and apply it to your life. Y'all be blessed. I love y'all again. Y'all take care. Fly Eagles fly. Go Dogs. Always follow Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ leads you to Jehovah. Until next time. Peace.